Hello everyone, this is Charles of Victoria Frontier. Today we'll be looking at Nishino Flower and Daiwa Scarlet power card. You might have heard a lot of things about Nishino Flower already. Some say she's a must pull, some say she's a page chaser parent, some say that you don't need her if you have Taiki Shuttle already. Nishino Flower brings +2 musical chairs on 3rd place to 4th place in the PvP environment. Her unique is one of the most impactful and important unique skills for inheritance on Mile and Sprint. Nishino Flower herself can also be used as a Mile and Sprint ace. This unique skill works on 3rd to 4th place. It is situationally inherited by front runners, page chasers, or late surgers. Although it's alright to assume that it's a page chaser inherit, but in actual CM environment, depending on the metagame, depending on the season, it could be front runners, it could be late surgers that sit on 3rd to 4th place. Nishino Flower unique Budding Blossom has 2 activation requirements. First of all, you'll have to be blocked on the side for at least 2 seconds on any mid-game corner for any position. So if you're running more than one ace of the same strategy, it is consistent enough to be considered a reliable proc condition. Because of no zone and how your Uma should have enough mid-game, you should naturally be able to complete this requirement most of the time. It activates when you are 3rd place and 4th place in the late game, if you are at least halfway through the final corner. It activates on the straights as well. As long as it's halfway through the final corner, it will activate. Let's visualize this so you understand a little bit better. This is Saiyan Sky. You should be familiar with her. If she is 1st place on any corner in the late game, so the blue area, angling and scheming will proc. Now, because the late game starts after the midpoint of the final corner, this is the final corner, this is the midpoint of it, this is the start of late game, which is the tail end of final corner. In this case, for CM14 for example, Nishino Flower unique will instantly activate, just like angling and scheming, if the conditions are fulfilled. Now, the difference between Saiyan Sky and Nishino Flower unique is that Nishino Flower, as long as you're on 3rd to 4th place, if you enter 3rd to 4th place a little bit after the late game starts, even like all this time right here, Nishino Flower unique will still activate if you reach 3rd to 4th place, as long as the precondition was met. For tracks that the late game starts on a straight, such as Chukyo 1200 Takamatsu no Miya Kinen, or CM9 and CM21, Nishino Flower unique is still going to be an insta-proc as long as the preconditions are fulfilled and you are on 3rd to 4th place. This unique skill is very versatile on any track that has the late game starting after this point. And as such, the importance of being on 3rd to 4th place and playing characters that can get to 3rd to 4th place consistently is going to be higher. People use Taiki Shuttle to compare to Nishino Flower, but they are fundamentally 2 different unique skills that have 2 very different proc conditions. Nishino Flower unique adjusts to the map, but for Taiki Shuttle, it's different because Taiki Shuttle does not care about where the late game is. So if the late game is exactly here, then both Nishino Flower and Taiki Shuttle is going to be good. But if the late game is like Takamatsu no Miya Kinen, like Chukyo 1200, Taiki Shuttle unique is not going to be as good and is not considered reliable. TLDR, Taiki Shuttle unique often procs way too early, Nishino Flower procs just right. Nishino Flower is a 15% speed, 15% power bonus Uma, with a aptitude of Sprint A and Mile A, as well as Pace and Late A. This Uma is mostly ran as a page chaser, but her kit does have late surger skills. Her medium aptitude is E, and her dirt aptitude is F. If you are going to make a Nishino Flower parent, you will need 7 medium sparks on the grandparents. She runs the Tiara route in her normal career in other scenarios. Now, she has to participate in the Oaks, which is not too difficult of a requirement if you have medium sparks, but is going to be a challenge if you stay on medium E. If you're parent farming on her, usually you'll have medium sparks somewhere in the lineage. We talked about her unique already, so I won't go back. She has acceleration, which is a really bad skill. She has straightaway adept as well as beeline burst as her gold skill, straight descent and determined descent as her second gold. She's not really played for the determined descent, and whenever it's a determined descent track, there are usually better Umas than Nishino Flower to play as an ace. She has late surger corners, which kind of goes against her being a page chaser, and also sprinting gears. She's decent on sprint as a Team Trials Uma. You can fill her in to sprint. By winning the Senior Takaratsuga Kinen, she's going to be able to get the head-on hit. By winning the mile races listed here, she's going to get 45 stats, updrafters, and shifting gears. If she wins the Queen Elizabeth Cup, she's going to get steadfast as well as a bunch of skill points. She gets quite a bit of bonuses for taking races on mile or even outside of mile races. Her custom event is charming. She doesn't really give that many skills in her events. She has a small event where you can get corner adept on the 3rd event. Feel free to comment if you know the actual answer to this, but I believe this event takes up rounds for event chains, so usually whenever I see this event, I just click bottom on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, alright? I do hope that I'm wrong on this because having this stat and corner adept hint level 2 is not bad. But yeah, I usually click bottom immediately whenever I see this event. This Uma changes the entire mile and medium environment. She now enables Umas that are on 3rd to 4th place, whether it's a front, pace, or late surger, on 3rd to 4th place by the late game to actually have acceleration. Out of the next 12 champions meetings that occur, Nishino Flower is going to be useful for at least a good 5 of them. Nishino Flower is relevant as a parent and not too bad of a pickup if you want to use her as an ace on mile or sprint races. Here is my pull recommendation for Nishino Flower. As the Chinese saying goes, if she's a wife, swipe the card. If she's your Oshi, pull for her. If your Oshi is on the way, stick to your current pull plan. If you play for meta and efficiency and have pink tickets left, you can consider dropping all of your pink tickets and karats on her. There aren't really many strong units left to pull for PvP for a good while. For me, my personal recommendation for the next relevant Uma is going to be Kirasan White, the alt to Kirasan Black, and I don't recommend Kopano Riki because you have to farm for 6 green skills on her. So all in all, I think if you drop all of your tickets on Nishino Flower, all of the remaining tickets that you have from Valentine Bourbon Banner and some of your karats onto Nishino Flower and just pull her, that is okay. There was this really good video from Seredu where he compiled the total karat gain for 0.5 anniversary to 1.5 anniversary. In about a year, from 0.5 anniversary to 1.5 anniversary, we are getting about 214k karats for each account if you complete all of the missions and do everything. If you lowball the number, as he said in the video, you can assume like it's around 152k. Among different players, among different CM win rates and stuff, there is going to be differences, but just to use as a reference, even if you lowball the number, it's about 152k karats for every player, assuming that you complete most of your missions. We are now on the 2nd month of Man Scenario, so for April, May, June, and July, these 4 months, the total of these 4 months, if we lowball it, is pretty much like a good 60k karats. Now, for Grand Live, the only consideration that we might be thinking of is Mr. CB Wit, Marzensky Speed, and Agnes Tachyon, which for most if not all people, should be an MLB target. The question you should be asking yourself is, do you have enough karats to pull on these banners? If we're going to get around 60k more karats, do we have enough to be on the safe line for Agnes Tachyon? Bar, of course, there is going to be a little bit more karats from 1.5 anniversary event, which means that the safe line is probably lower. You'll have to go to Henry Handsome's karat calculator to check it. But like, if these cards are in your pull plan, can you afford to pull on it? Recognize what your account needs. If you're lacking in speed cards, you need to pull speed cards. If you're lacking in wit cards, you need to pull wit cards. Both of these are very decent investments, and I would generally recommend people to pull on one of these 2 banners. But like, do you have enough karats and crystals to guarantee MLB Tachyon? That should be the question that you should be asking yourself. This was my manned pull plan back in the Taiwanese server. My server, just like Global, has Clairvoyance, and I was able to fully prep my pull plan for all of the support cards. My own experience on my account was as such. I went 200 on Ballroom Saiyan, 20 on Nishino, and while both of these cards were MLB, in the Grand Life scenario, without MLB Tachyon, I did not feel like a real human being. Without Tachyon speed card, and when my account did not have Super Creek, I was not able to max speed on, say, Kira-san plus Marzensky 2 speed card. I believe you absolutely do need Agnes Tachyon just for Grand Life scenario. After Grand Life scenario, Tachyon did fall off quite a bit, but during the Grand Life scenario, if you want to play comfortably on any character, even if it's not a pace chaser, I do believe that having Agnes Tachyon at MLB is going to let you actually play comfortably. Let's look at Daiwa Scarlet power card. This power card has a very important point, and this power card gives neck and neck. At the current stage of global, neck and neck still has the proc requirement. As of first anniversary, so current day global, neck and neck still has the condition of phase 2 first half random. Basically, it can proc as late as here, which will give you little to no value. The proc range is the entirety of final leg. Neck and neck, just like its white counterpart, head on is still a gamble skill, and should not be relied on as your main acceleration. Just like on your left, if it hits, it hits. Let's try not to rely on this as our main acceleration. This card gives up tempo, this card gives pace corners, prepared to pass, and preferred position. These are not too weak of skills. This also has hint level 2 and hint frequency 30%, which is decent for a skill card. I would still say Yaina Muteki is probably still better. Yaina Muteki and Power Pasa is going to be better unless you're really going out of your way to get the head-on skill. This card has all friendship bonus, no training effect. So this is effectively a Peishiza version of Marvel Sunday, no specialty priority, no Muda bonus, no training effect, just a little bit more hints, and then some stat bonus on power as well as stamina. The race bonus is at least 10, so you could use this card on Mant, but otherwise, the roaming effect is terrible and there's not really that much that this card has to offer over Yaina Muteki and Power Pasa. This card should not be in your pull plan, you should not pull for it, and just let the whales pull for it. If you want to use it, if you want to try borrowing it, you can go to uma.moe and just browse the database for somebody that has the support card enabled, and you can just go here and then scroll down to look for people that will eventually pull for the support card. Finally, here is the pull recommendation for this banner. Nishino Flower is one of the more relevant Umas for PvP for a good while. If you have any tickets left, you're free to drop it on Nishino Flower. In a short amount of time, there is not really any Uma that stands out to be as valuable as Nishino Flower. So if you can get a copy of her and you do intend on playing meta or playing this game seriously, you can pull for her. If you don't parent farm, you can just skip her. I believe there is going to be enough of Nishino Flower going around. Also, if you do plan on dropping carats on her, make sure to have at least 52k carats prepped for Agnes Tachyon SSR and take care of your own pull plan. And for Daiwa Scarlet, it's Marvelous Sunday power levels of training effect, and the gold skill is meh. The skills are decent, but you probably don't parent farm on her anyways, so it's a little bit of a whale toy. If you want to play around with it, just go and borrow a Daiwa Scarlet power. The skill gets buffed on 2nd anniversary, but we get it from KS Miracle Guts instead of Daiwa Scarlet power. So Daiwa Scarlet power doesn't really get much use at all. Just if you want a Peishi's acceleration on mile and sprint, you go Nishino Flower. That's going to be it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. This is Charles the Victor Frontier. I'll see you guys in the next one.